And we head to Nuke, which I believe was the pick of Heroic, wasn't it?
That's the craziest thing, right? They have a stand-in player, and their in-game leader's gone, and they pick Nuke.
That's a wild one. And we won't have long to wait to find out. It was an extended break because they were having some internet issues, which they have now resolved. Maybe a router reboot was needed. For whatever reason, they fixed it, which is great.
I want to switch my prediction.
Can't do that.
You can't do that, man.
No, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
Can't do
Sorry.
that.
What if?
Not with this host. Henry,
What if I do something for it?
Okay. How about this? You can change your
eat
prediction.
something spicy. Let me guess.
Yeah,
But if big wins,
The Howlin' Rays
James
chicken.
gets to shave off one of your eyebrows.
No, that's not happening.
Jesus. Someone tried to shave off one of my eyebrows when I was drunk once, and I was ready to fight.
Whoa, yeah, you don't shave off someone's eyebrows.
You can't be doing that. That's not a thing.
That is not okay.
Especially not huge angry people. You definitely don't want to be doing that.
I think I would cry if someone shaved off my eyebrow. Like, I think I'd literally cry.
I'll just be angry. And just hurt people a lot. Okay.
It reminds me of when Yanko did the Movember, and he had the mustache, but he also had to do the mohawk, and he was just sad for a month. he was just generally sad for a month.
Well, like an insurance salesman who had a midlife crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So here are the updated odds, and now we've got Heroic as a solid favorite. This is their map pick, but again, there are so many questions.
Yeah. KD was looking pretty good.
He was.
It's so insane how Denmark has so many good Counter-Strike players that they can just like slot into these teams. I mean, Pimp was like a world-class pro, and he's just like chilling.
Just cycling,
Just like I feel like he could easily just stand in and do the same thing.
I like though that he has kind of replaced one obsession with another one.
Yeah.
Which is fitness now.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. It's great stuff.
You should try it, James.
I know. The thing is, I was playing. In fairness, I was playing football.
Yeah.
I was playing football 4 times a week last time I was here, but I had I've just got this really annoying injury in my knee, which is stopping me. So I haven't played any football, but I am due to play on Thursday, the big game, the 11-a-side evening game, which is pretty tough stuff.
All you guys watching to tweet James to see a physiotherapist. I've been telling him to do it for like 6 months. He hasn't done it.
I just forget. It's not.
How can you forget? You got the searing pain in your knee every day of your life.
It's not searing pain. It's like annoying.
James has a lot of stuff
annoying.
going on, man. Just look at that shirt.
It's true.
He just has a lot of stuff.
This is fantastic. This is a wrestling shirt.
That shirt.
This
that shirt. Oh, this is like. But look at this. This says Peacock on it. But yeah, that does have a lot of stuff going on. So.
Oh, I've ruined everything. Okay, here we go.
So there are shoes.
You guys missed it.
You could add shoes. You could add drones.
Drone racing. That's your newest thing. Drone racing.
Drone.
I didn't even know that was a thing until you told me about that.
Do you know what? When you do it, it's really awesome. We used to fly around the office, but then we got to bigger drones, which are like.
Then you cut up your hand.
Yeah. Testing. It's still there's a little.
Not before you cut up other people. Let's not forget that.
Wait.
Oh yeah. Do you still have a scar on your arm?
I don't know actually.
Because I used to get
when you're on the boat or something.
When we were near Santa Ana, I used to get boats out every week, and I'd launch the drone from the boat. But sometimes it would fly into Dan before taking off.
That sounds like a really fun experience for you, Dan.
Yeah, it was like flew, it didn't just go up like this. It went like this, and I had to kind of protect my face with my arm.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
True blood.
I think with my gamer jeans, I would just let it hit my face. Like you can't break my arm.
Yeah, those things are nasty. But that was just an off-the-shelf, like a DJI drone. These ones are even nastier, as you saw from my hand getting absolutely trashed. But they can go like over 100 miles an hour. That thing is wild.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you one day. If we take that big trip to that place, San Clemente or whatever it is.
Oh, Inferno.
Yeah.
Let's just call it Inferno.
Yeah. Then I'm definitely going to bring the drone and do like a fly around and crash it into the bells. For sure. Anyway, big now on the CT side. Heroic trying to creep with no grenades towards the secret area. Tabson's going to get picked off by a Glock. The Glocks have had quite a performance so far today. But it's a 4 versus 4. Soon to be 3 for Big because next will get deleted.
This crossfire. Oh, Spirit, you got to kill them. Oh, when he goes forward, he's got to be careful with this one. 3v3. This is very sketchy stuff in the vents. And things calm down a little bit. The reload comes in. Smoothier's position definitely known now. What do Heroic do from this position? They're going to continue to press on the lower bomb site. Stavin takes down Xantaras, and now that's going to leave just 2 here for Big, and they are all falling. Ace tag with 3.
That round was so insane.
After that dust too, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it for Heroic, man.
I don't understand. Like, what just happened? That was so crazy. They ran into a USP and connector and Heaven, and they won the Heaven battle. They ran into this crossfire and lived through that. I just felt like they survived so many crazy scenarios.
It's true. It did look like there were so many opportunities for Big.
I mean, Big just didn't capitalize.
And you got Xantares, you got Smooya, you got Tabson. Tizian as well is really sick with a pistol. They have some aimers on Big, man.
Yeah.
Double creeks coming out. The creeks are just so disgusting in the kinds of peaks you can take with them.
Yeah, that's the craziest part, right? Especially, I hate the buys when T's lose the pistol with the plant and they bust out the creeks. I think that kind of needs a fix somewhere or another.
All right, Heroic. They've got their opening kill, and through the smoke they go. They've got the numbers to trade in this particular situation. This will be a formality, it seems, on the B bomb site, or it should be. We should always say should, never will, because you just don't know. We've seen crazy things happen in the past. Bit off topic, but when is Scream even playing for a team right now?
No, I don't believe he is. He was playing for Gamer Legion. Is that
It's been such a long time where he just hasn't been circulated in the French-speaking team. It just seems crazy to me.
Well, he was playing on that Gamer Legion team, but now he's not anymore. He was on that team with HS.
He got benched from Gamer Legion today, apparently.
Oh.
Well, that's a shame. Oh, I see. Scream and HS benched as they build an all-Swedish team. Well, that was a pretty wild make-up. But it's just like, what happened to his career?
Is he just streaming these days? I know he's got like 300k followers on Instagram or something insane. So he can live off the Instagram.
He's 25 years old.
Yeah, he could live the influencer life.
But I feel like, yeah, I feel like he's just been doing that for 2 years or something.
Yeah.
But it's just, considering his profile, because of his play style and so on, his profile was insane.
Yeah, I really...
Shocks and Scream days.
I really don't understand it. There must be something to the story that I don't get.
Yeah.
But if like I was a French in-game leader, I would love to have someone with that skill on my team.
Yeah, and I think it's just great for like a team's profile, you know? Like, you could say Cloud9 definitely had like iconic rosters, the tank top eras, and so on. You know, there's a lot that could be done with man like Scream. So I really want to see him do something, just be on a team, because I never get to see him on a broadcast.
I guess if he really wanted to be on a team, I'm sure he would be.
I don't know, man.
Like,
you say a team, I'm talking like.
Talking like
I want to see him on a broadcast.
I mean, well, I guess if it was going to be, it would have happened. You know, like I'm sure for either there's a reason. I'm sure there's a reason.
Not one that I will accept.
Yeah, maybe you should start a team, James. Send Scream an offer. Just pay him in watches every month.
I can make him
you got a bunch of watches.
Yeah, but I want them. I'm a hoarder. I can make him a member of the Republic of Bardistan.
What?
The Republic of Bardistan.
What is this, Dan?
I made my own republic. It was going to happen eventually, wasn't it? I'm tired of following other people's rules. So don't worry, you'll hear more about it soon. There'll be a public address.
Interesting.
Where's
this land located?
Twitch. Yeah.
Well, Twitch's headquarters. You can do like a coup or something.
If you on my channel,
the U.S. government's not listening right now.
I try not to listen.
You can. You will be able to become a citizen with a Twitch Prime subscription.
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. It's genius. And have passports and everything.
Well, Heroic have themselves a 3-0 start against Big on the T side. That bodes well for all of you that have bet on Heroic, all of you who have predicted them like Sean did. Because Big are definitely in a position of struggle, that is. Could reset things here with the full buy. Snappy though opens things up, takes down next Tizzy with a defense, takes down 2. Beautiful work from him, holding down. Oh my god, it gets even better for Tizzy, and 3 frags, and there's maybe more in store as the USP comes out. Some assistance from Xantares, and finally Tizian is removed from his position, but it's cost far too much. Until Tizian, that looks amazing.
That was a gorgeous execute, and Tizian just played it perfectly, just staying alive, like you said. That was the key thing, right? Getting that kill on the right, kill on the left, and then he's not over-committing to these angles. He's just jiggling, taking solo engagements time after time.
But damage was done. to Big's economy, so there is an opportunity here for Heroic. I'm curious where Heroic are going to find their consistency on this T side.
They look pretty drilled based on that round.
Yeah.
I would imagine we're going to see some cool layers to their wall of smokes outside. Potentially, you know, not the standard ones you normally see. I can't remember who was Energy, actually, in New York had a really cool variation on the wall of smokes. It was weird. It was like mini to blue bin.
Yeah, they would do that very, very commonly.
Yeah.
Limit the positions outside. But they would have a smoke in Hell for Hell windows as well.
Yeah.
And maybe one for... I know Stan throws the one in Hell. This round is not live.
A lot of typing.
I don't know if they drop one in Heaven to deny some information.
I'm so glad that EG kind of waited.
Yeah.
Because they waited a long time. I think they wanted to get into CS quite like many times, but they couldn't quite find the moment that made sense.
You know what's crazy? I feel like in this last weekend when EG won that tournament, that lineup has more fans on EG now than they had from building that fan base on Energy for years.
Yeah, it feels that way, yeah.
It feels that way. It feels like EG has so many fans. Like
it feels like you combine the two things, like there's so much goodwill already in that XNRG roster, and then combining it with this pure NA brand that's like one of the biggest brands we've seen in North America that's been away for a long time. They've got cool branding, they've got a great history. It's just so much goodwill in one place, like just everything's perfect.
Did you see they also bought the LCS team?
Oh, I didn't actually see
in the same week.
Yeah, the same week.
Yeah.
They just literally went all out.
Making moves.
Probably like $40 million in a week. It's just crazy.
I was wondering how much the whole team would cost. Like, how much would it cost for me to buy a team that's like a top 4 level team?
Probably a lot of money, Dan.
Yeah. Few millions.
Maybe we could take out a loan.
I wonder if
go to a bank, try to get a loan approved.
I wonder if you stagger the contracts when you sign a new team, so you know, for bargaining power and so on.
Yeah.
So they can't just say, well, we're all going to leave now after 2 years or something.
Oh, I see what you like, and the contract end date.
Yeah.
I'd imagine they wouldn't do that.
Guess it depends on it's all negotiation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And who has the stronger negotiating position at the time.
It's definitely something I want to see in the CS scene is contract alignment from the players, where all the players align their contracts on like the free agency periods. So that way, you know, we can see proper roster swaps and stuff like that during those off times as opposed to craziness before and after the majors.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's never going to be a time where like everyone's off contract at the same time, but as long as you know that during these 2 times of the year, you know, contracts end, that's when you should be looking to make roster changes, unless you want to buy out someone.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Guess what, guys? A 315 billion ton iceberg has broken off in Antarctica. So go to the Maldives while you can, because that's going to be underwater soon enough.
That's a big piece of ice.
That's a huge piece of ice. It's basically a country of ice.
Literally, like, Antarctica just like lost.
It's 1,636 square kilometers in area. Bloody hell. I wonder how much, if that would raise the sea level. We're all going to die from heat death, Sean Gears. Also, space is fake. 3-1 for Heroic. Both teams on the buy now. We've got a fast move towards T-Red from Borup. He spotted a leg on the outside. He's focused, he's spraying, and he's got no bullets left, and now he's dead. Maybe a mistake.
This is creative.
Yeah. That smoke kind of foils that. His attack, though, looking not to be denied, will be denied. Tizian will reposition. They will hear that, though. So be careful. Cadian crouching all the way. And he's owned it. Beautiful movement from Cadian. Oh, that's even better from Next, though. The transfer down low. And that really leaves Heroic without really anything to work with. Snappy able to eventually trade Nex out, but his position's known now. That's really the issue. Can't even find his way out of the smoke, and that's going to be a very flat round from Heroic. And that's unfortunate for them, because now their money's absolutely screwed, and Big can start to take a grip of this game.
Yeah, I really don't know what their plan was right there. It looked like they wanted Borup to rush toward Secret without a wall of smoke. It's kind of crazy. And then they also had a head stack in the door, but they broke that apart and just picked out. It was weird. It's very disjointed considering it came after a timeout.
Glocks and a guest appearance from a P250 for Cadian. Auto shotty, oh, satisfying when it lands. Really is. Some nice money made now for Big, for the likes of Tizian. I missed the hand wraps. I had the yellowy, greeny ones before I upgraded. I like the DD pat though.
Do you have a knife for both sides?
I have one knife for CT side, and I have about 8 knives for T side. So basically, my stat track knife goes on the CT side, because that's where most of the knifing happens. And then all the other knives shuffle on the T side. So every time I connect to the server, it's a different knife.
That's where you're knifing at.
And Dan often has one of my knives, but I want it back now.
I like how Dan just remained quiet over there. He knew. Just trying to keep that tight.
He forgets sometimes, you know. There's one period where I had one for like 6 months, and I just wasn't playing. So I forgot. Next, though, he'll start things off really well here for Big. Down by the vents. That shotgun is dangerous. And Heroic, they are struggling to open things up. They got 3 flashbangs, no smokes, nothing else other than the 3 flashbangs to work with over a minute to go. So it's not really a good look for Heroic in terms of the utility game. They've opted to go for firepower instead. And next they're waiting. There's no nothing for this angle, just a raw peek. And, well, Snappy will catch Tabson outside, but even though it's a 3v3, it feels like Heroic are quite flat at the moment. Just trying to walk out in different directions.
This idea they have of just sending Borup into Secret every round all by himself to look for kills, and then 4 people hold lobby, and then they just mid-game. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it.
30 seconds remain. Tizian has 2 places of concern. That's such a nice peek with AWP, but he won't check for a second player. 20 seconds remain now. Flash towards Squeaky. Heroic edging ever so slightly, but maybe too slightly, and there's a shotgun in the back and an upgrade at the end of the round for Big. They survived with 2 players, but money's being made. They can rebuy, but there's still a chance for this money to get cut down very quickly. That's a great wallbang from inside the vents. I feel like this one's going to be a back and forth affair as well.
Yeah, I don't think Heroic's really shown me enough right now on their T side. But I kind of felt that way on Dust 2 to start the game, and they rallied back, so who knows? They might just think they have Big has a weakness in the upper bomb site, and they just realize at this point in the game, you know, we have to adapt and do something different.
Got the pistols, maybe they can get something out of this. They do trade out nicely on the upper bomb site. Smooya's in trouble. He will fall back. Oh my days, these Deagle shots coming in are really causing problems. Nice flick from Smooya, but the upper bomb site has been lost. They will try to quickly reclaim it here with a flashbang. And with the positioning of Issa Tag below, it might be difficult to get this to happen. The trades are in. And do they want to sacrifice Smooya as well? Looks like that won't be the case. He'll try to edge out. And there it is. Sometimes it's just a pistol rush, just the speed of it, and catches players off guard.
It's crazy. I feel like, you know, that pistol round we saw when they ran off Catwalk, Snappy got the 3K Deagle on the retake. That was a pivotal moment on Dust 2, and I feel like this could be a pretty important moment on Nuke.
But was he going to survive? No, I think he would have got blown up anyway.
He's trying to see if he could get a ninja going, I guess.
4-4. Finally, Heroic with another round on the boards. This is a key round for them to break the money of Big. Very, very important round. If they can open them up on this round, then again, they could aim for 7 and then reset, make a new goal after that. They could have a big half. all based on this one round. But if they fail, there may be other chances. But why not take the first one?
Being pretty quick towards ramp this time around. As Sean said, maybe they were kind of really trying to focus on the upper bomb side. So here we see something quite different. A quick ramp take. Santaris looking to hold his ground, or can he get out of there? In fact, he's going to do so much damage. He's got the support to come in to be able to stay alive in this position. And Heroic have picked up ramp for the cost of 3 players. That is simply way too much damage received.
Yeah, when I first saw at the start of this game, Xantares was playing ramp, I was like, oh, that's an interesting person to be playing ramp, because he loves fighting. And typically the person that plays ramp is kind of conservative, you know, they'll take an engagement or two and then drop into the lower site very passively.
Like a Zipex.
Yeah, exactly. So I was wondering how that would play out. But just now, I mean, he won all the fights, so worked out fantastic. Obviously, if that guy falls, though, and the T's take the lower bomb site through you know, the control window, I mean, that's such an easy round for the T's to win. It's easy for them to snowball into a victory at that point.
I mean, there's a chance here as well in the post plant. It could always be an accident for Big. Do they have a kit? Yes, they have a kit on Tizian.
Only Tizian.
Only Tizian with the kit. They're all down by the bomb, though.
Yeah, they've got their place well surrounded, but someone needs to get on the bomb. There we go, Tizian's on the bomb. You've got the meat shield there. Tag's got to find the right man immediately.
Wow, okay, that's nasty, isn't it? What a round to win. They were 2 versus 4. They were both sitting in control with the bomb ticking away. What went wrong with that, Sean?
That's crazy. I guess the big players are just a little bit too aggressive in this situation right here. Xantares could have easily backed off into the lower site like I was talking about. They took way too long entering the site, and they had Molotovs here. Nex had a molly. He could have mollied in the door just now and prevented that whole thing from happening. They could have mollied in the window where Snappy was. They had 2 mollies on that retake. And they took such a long time. They're spamming the railing, but they have a teammate coming from ramp that's actually clearing the railing. So it didn't really make sense how disjointed they were.
There's a genre of music called UK Garage. Okay. And one of the legendary producers of music is actually from America, and his name is Todd Edwards. And he has a song called Shut the Door. Sean.
Shut the door.
Do you know how the chorus goes?
Shut
the door.
Shut the door.
Yep, that's about it.
That's it? That's all you got?
5-4 to Heroic. Borup gets shot in the head in spawn, and that's going to make everything a little bit easier for Big. I was going to say the M4s, but there are no M4s. There are Deagles though, and a CZ and a P250. All more lethal now. Minute 30 on the clock. Heroic with some nice positions. A smoke towards the mini area, or we call it main, but the Americans call it mini, and indeed.
That 4-3.
Borup has not spotted Tabson, but he'll spot him soon enough. S-Tag's still alive. He can take the MAC-10 from Cadian. So they don't drop a strong weapon. Heroic have great position right now.
Yeah, this is fantastic, isn't it? Heroic it looked so sketchy. It looked like they didn't have too much depth, and that Big were about to stabilize, but...
Then they win an eco and that crazy 2-on-4.
Yeah.
And now the game is just totally shifted.
And it feels like, you know, although Big have been doing quite a lot right, there have been some of these leaks, and maybe in communication or oversights, whatever it might be, but there's been some leaks that have cost them just in the wrong timings, like that 2v4 you're mentioning.
It almost feels like some of their players get complacent when they go up, and not even only in score, but in a given round. They get a little bit too complacent and aggressive.
Definitely seems like there is something going wrong. This is actually a nice angle for the decal, and there you go. Xantares with a bit of extra damage. And there you go, the bomb will detonate. And Heroic will pick up their 6th round. Managing to find bomb plants frequently enough in this half so far. Now there needs to be a response from Big.
Heroic's built up a good economy here. Big doesn't have the best buy in the world right now. Their utility is lacking on a couple players. This could be abused. We could see something fast towards the upper side. They have no Molotovs to stop an upper hit right now.
All right, Heroic, what's the plan? 5 Kriegs. They haven't done a lot outside. We'll see a pretty fast movement there from Borup. As you mentioned before, he tends to be going towards the secret area quite often, and it's going to be a very fast play off the hot roof, sorry, the main roof, and they will absolutely demolish the outside setup. Everyone's dead.
God.
That's a gorgeous strat right there, because you could see as those players dropped over, there was a Molotov in Mini, which means that the 5th player went in lobby, blew up the door, and Molotov Mini. So that way that player had to either come out of Mini into those Ts, or he obviously would have to commit into the site and leave his outside player all by himself. That was really nice.
Smee was super blind outside as well, had no idea what was coming his way. And they have indeed broken the money. And again, we spoke about multiple chances. There was another one to have a fantastic T side here on Nuke, and looks very likely now. 7-4, no money for Big. Their loss bonus is higher though, so they'll be back on the buy sooner rather than later. But again, life is made much easier for Heroic. The delayed second smoke in case of a molly.
They've given so many looks. Ever since I kind of commented that they keep doing this upper hit where they send Borup solo secret, they've done a different hit every single round, which is really cool.
It's pretty mad considering that it's basically a completely new team.
Yeah. It really makes me feel like what I said was true, is they started off this match thinking Big was weak in the upper bomb site, and they wanted to abuse that in their game plan. And then now they're falling back on all of their tactics. Like, this is the second layer to their game.
And so far it's been working out nicely, and the individuals are playing pretty well, and Big are making just enough mistakes or giving just enough room to maneuver in spots where maybe there's a disadvantage for Heroic, that Heroic have had success in some of those rounds too. So yeah, it's really looking good for them at the moment. And for your prediction as well, Sean, I don't know how you did it, how you knew. I thought it would be overwhelming, the advantages of Big.
I feel like this is a pretty good team. I think very highly of Borup and stuff.
Yeah, it actually looks like it has a lot more legs to it than the previous Heroic lineup, which was pretty dangerous.
And I'm a huge fan of Cadian actually as an opper. I don't think he should probably be primary in-game leading. I think Snappy could probably do that on this team. Maybe easy tag. But like, he could definitely be a secondary voice in the team and have a lot of good ideas.
8 for Heroic on their T side. Can't complain about that. That is a great result so far. And there's more to come, potentially. But again, Big's loss bonus now is at the maximum.
5 Kriegs.
Ooh.
That's disgusting.
All the scopes. It is disgusting. It's my kind of disgusting.
They were doing this on Dust 2 as well. They seem to really enjoy having all the Kriegs.
It's cool until the Krieg gets nerfed. And then everything you've done, it just feels like you can't take this in fights.
But the nerf could be a price nerf.
True.
Although, was it the fire rates which was adjusted for the AUG?
Only the unscoped.
Okay.
Yeah, and the recoil slightly.
Yeah, the scope is a lot.
Jesus.
Cadian with the Krieg. Do you know what? Having a scoped weapon as a sniper, like a non-sniper, is so good. It works.
Isn't it crazy that those guns just like flew under the radar for so long?
Yeah, yeah.
Given how many hours like pros like myself put into the game, the guns never caught on.
It was always there.
I knew it was
just
good.
always there.
Bardolph knew it was good.
Bardolph knew.
Tizian now in a 1 versus 2. He's 1 versus 2 Kriegs, 2 cannons, 2 meat grinders, and here comes the first one, stabbing with a peek. He manages to survive that. 25 HP. Moves around, looks the wrong way. The variance around the vents. It was a close one for Big, but they're back into Eco Town. Second last round of the first half.
Honestly, as well, if you look at the kills Next got, so we're going to see Cadian's 2 openings, but the 2 kills Next got was actually pretty phenomenal, and he gets a 3rd one in this round as well. And if not for Next doing all of that ridiculousness, this is not even remotely close this round. So right now, Heroic are running over Big, running over them completely. But Danish players, it's just nuts, isn't it? It's just crazy. Danish
actually
Counter-Strike
upsetting.
is nuts.
It's upsetting. How can they have so many good players? Such a
The
small
population's like 5 million or
Yeah.
something, you know. Let's double check that actually, because I have no idea. I think it's around that.
Just trying to enjoy the ambient sound there. The whistle of the wind. I haven't heard a whistling wind for a long time, in real life at least.
You don't really get much weather in California.
Oh,
Yeah, in the desert.
5.7 million. Wasn't too far off.
Really close.
Heroic trying to identify the makeup of Big in this round. Clearing the garage. Salmon's in the anti-eco position, and you can see why. If there is a push in the lobby, you can fall back. You've got a few corners to play with. You can hold the tight choke points, the tight angles to limit the variance. It makes it harder for Big to abuse the numbers on a CT push. Santaros are the 1 dig, but he is surrounded. Nex has got a frag elsewhere with the P250, perhaps looking for a weapon. He'll collect a Krieg, that's pretty notable. S-tag, oh, I thought he might have missed that angle completely, but he gets there just in the nick of time. 2 versus 2 now, variance continues. S-tag maybe looking for a fast plant with 17 seconds on the clock.
So they've managed to stabilize in terms of getting the bomb down. That's pretty huge. If you look at the fact that there's no defuse kit, only a single flashbang for utility for Big, Heroic can really play these corners, these angles, the doors for quite some time, and it's going to be annoying for Big. Heroic, they just have to buy time. They should be able to win this round.
Yeah,
Oh.
it almost seems unwinnable for Big right now. It would take an overcommitment like this frag, but I mean Snappy's gonna win that engagement. Now it's impossible.
There you go, 10-4. What a T side so far. I did not expect it. When Big got the string of 4 rounds in a row, did not look like we were going to see them not winning any more rounds after that point.
Rattled off 7 rounds in a row. That's kind of crazy.
With a lot of different plays as well.
A lot of different plays, yeah.
This team has not been together for very long. I really can't emphasize that enough. Like, 3 players on this team have changed, including the in-game leader, Blame, being taken away.
I mean, that round was a heaven push, actually, where they mid-gamed it into the lower hit late round, which we hadn't seen yet.
Oh, he's tried to go down event, but he's missed it. He's missed it, Jim. Down he goes eventually, but now it's more obvious. Snappy's been deleted in the meantime, so maybe there's a 5th round in it for Big. Still early, though, as Heroic have some position with a player downstairs, despite it being a 4 versus 5 for them. Cadian looking around outside, waiting for the creep, and will his patience be rewarded? This is high risk now as he moves into deeper peaks. Tabson in that credit card position. Or it makes his way down towards the decontamination area. And it's a 4v4. Smee taken out by the ramp.
Oh, they don't have a smoke for this.
This is so tough for Big. They're just been out-positioned, out-maneuvered. Look at that fight. That's not a fight you want to take, but there's nothing else Zantaros can really do.
This could be a 2-0 for Heroic, let's not forget.
It's looking like it's going to happen. They're looking really good here on Nuke so far. I'm actually this lineup is kind of exciting me. This Heroic lineup. They've got a lot of cool pieces in this team.
Yeah, they have like the young aimers combined with an in-game leader and a second voice, a second experienced voice. I like the mix. It's good.
And this mix is causing plenty of problems for Big. Maybe too many calories in this shake. We'll find out if they can bring it back after the break.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. We might just be about to witness an upset here because Big are trailing massively. They lost the first map, Dust 2 against Heroic. They really need this pistol, and Tizian will try to get himself down the vent, but he has been completely halted. And the rest of Big will make their way towards Secret, and they have been spotted.
Yeah, he's kind of cowering in a corner right there. Please don't hurt.
Oh my god, there's so many people. Brought up in the back though, able to pick off one. Peeling away these players as they try to make their way to the bomb site. Nice shot from Tapson. Right on the side there, he'll go down as well. Xantares is mad. Wishes to be abused by these Danes no longer.
It feels like both of the teams ran similar pistol rounds where they just ran outside and looked for fights down in Secret, which is kind of cool. Maybe it's something going on in the meta right now in Europe.
Well, Big, they do what they needed to do. They got that pistol victory. You found the 4 spies on the CT side of Nuke? Pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. I think CT side Nuke is one of those maps where you can definitely steal around if you use your utility right. If you have a scout, you know, taking a couple of pot shots outside. It's definitely a map where you can steal. And you can see the 4 smokes. That's the key thing, I think, when you buy in these rounds.
Yeah, it's good that we see a priority there. Stabbing goes close with the Deagle, gets some tagging though. The AK finds his head straight away from Xantares, and Tizian holds the back with the Mag 10 is perfect. And this Mag 7 is going to go in here. S-Tag is going to go forwards. He actually cancels the plant. Oh, he's actually dropped the bomber. This is a problem. A huge, huge problem here for Big. So talking about stealing around, they are down a man, but they've got the bomb, they've got some position. Snappy needs a headshot or two. He's pretty good with the Eagle, but he can't find the finishing shots. And the Mag 7 simply does not cut it from that range. And so it looks like the chaos has been put to bed.
That was such a bizarre second round, right? Just sending the bomb down vent, solo planting in the lower site. It seems so vulnerable, right?
Yeah, it's
really
kind
weird.
of a weird way to approach the anti-4 spy. I suppose though, if you can get a bomb plant, that is pretty amazing against a 4 spy, even if you die doing it.
True, I guess
They're
if you set
likely
yourself
not
up
having
in
a
that.
kit and so on. Nuke is a hard map. It feels like it took teams a long time to kind of figure out how to play the T sides.
It feels like teams finally understand the map, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like Astralis is the only team that knows how to play it these days.
Yeah.
Nah, that's why, you know, they can't just rattle off wins the way they used to. It seems like everyone has a style of playing Nuke now where they can win.
Yeah. I mean, it progressed so slowly because so few teams were willing to play it. I remember like Mouse Force, the kind of addition of Mouse Force with Stiko, Rops, Oscar, Sunny, and who am I missing? Chris J.
Yeah.
Rob's kind of innovated the kind of blow up the door, forget the lurk smoke out there. Like that was one of the biggest innovations for a long time. And then there wasn't any development past that. And that was just another layer of the default.
I think it's really telling, by the way, that all of the top teams now seem to be willing to play Vertigo.
Yeah.
Because they saw how valuable it was when Astralis got really good on Nuke. I guarantee that's why. Like, I mean, you can't afford to just not play a new map in the pool.
I've been liking Vertigo now as well. Like, it's kind of a fun map to watch.
I like the changes that allowed the CTs to, you know, aggress A ramp, aggress B.
Yeah.
I wish there was a little bit more value in taking mid as T, but I'm sure someone's gonna find out how to do it. I just haven't thought of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's definitely come a long way. I didn't think the map was really all that salvageable initially.
Oh my, I hate to see it.
It almost looked like he was okay.
Yeah.
Steal that Krieg. That's a huge pickup.
I think they'll let him live with that?
Get that Krieg. They might. Their economy is probably not amazing. Actually, where is their economy at? So
I think 4 people lived the prior round.
Okay. They could.
That's pretty decent.
Oh, Krieg is so good. Well, save 1 Krieg. That's huge. On a map like this, there's such a big difference between the Krieg and the Orc.
Yeah, I feel like getting the Krieg as a CT is just so OP.
Now, who do you give it to? Which position's going to benefit the most? Or do they even care about that?
And
Sometimes
you just
you
keep
don't
it for
care.
yourself. So, what is this, stand? It's every man for himself out here.
Okay, so Tag will keep it, and he's going to go towards the outside, or is he going to be playing main? Let's see what's Bigger up to here. This is a huge rounds. This Tag has a small gap to work with there. Looks like they'll smoke their own molly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They're just like one step ahead of the whole CT doing that.
Oh, that pop flash. That's not bad, but Stavin stays alive on top of the hut, and his teammates are helping him out here as he creeps towards the back. He's still alive, he's still doing damage. Almost gets another one there, but everybody's falling. Cadian, if he gets this frag, he's definitely on. Oh, that's huge. The molly missed. Oh, I think Cadian, he didn't realize he could have maybe held that position.
Yeah. Wow, that was a really close round. Stavin did such a good job staying alive top hut. That's so annoying, by the way, when you go upper as a T and you know there's a guy up there and you can't see him. He's just ducking below your crosshair. He did a really good job staying alive. Unfortunately, the trades just went in Big's favor at the end.
I like the pop flashes as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, I was saying that their molly smoke combo, that's to stop that whole meta of, you know, CTs throwing the molly to put a gap in the smokes. Instead, their smoke just immediately extinguishes, and they can throw the back smoke whenever they get there.
And this is an interesting spot now for Heroic, because they've got that AWP on Cadian, but a Nova, a Mag 7, and a couple of Deagles. That's really weird. One smoke as well. No kits. Really weird buy. Got the 5 Kevlars, no helmets. Oh, that Mag 10. Perfect gun for that.
That was a really good peek.
What is next here for Big? Cadian repositioning, that's really important. With this AWP going towards hut, that's it is a bit crazy, but they need some crazy, and they need to pay off. Maybe Cadian gets something here with this. You'd never expect the AWP to be in this position. You don't have to worry about that window like in previous iterations. That's good. Oh my god, Xantara still gets the kill. That's outrageous.
Some really fast kills going down on the hut.
Oh wow. Tizian basically killed everyone.
It's hard to believe that they just walked out of that round with 0 frags.
It is, yeah, really hard to believe.
I mean, look at Big's money. Tizian has $11,000 right now for buying.
It's definitely a good
After
spot
buying,
for Heroic, though. They still managed to find like a good buy. They spent just enough money in the previous round.
Yeah, they definitely need to change things up, though.
CT
like
round's so hard to come by.
Again, Big is going with this upper hit.
Ooh, Xantara's pretty blind there. Borak will take him down. Great counter utility from Heroic to really stop this push from doing anything. Borak just walking around. A couple kills in return finally from Big, but not quite in the way that they wanted. These smokes are going away. That needs to be... The cover is not there, though. S-Tag able to keep himself alive. Has to smoke off the main position. Not ideal.
Being alive for the retake, real important. Perfect timing. So many CTs, so few Ts, and now Tabson is the only one remaining. You may have heard the rotation earlier in main, but just around the corner. Okay, and just hunting for one player, taken out by another one, and it will be a CT round for Heroic. There's been a drought. It's their first of this half. They survive with 3 players. That's quite something. Snappy can drop a rifle.
I think based on, you know, what Big saw Heroic have that prior round, you know, with all the shotguns and AWP, they probably assumed that Heroic wouldn't have the mollies and utility to stop this upper rush, especially after getting 0 frags. I would probably make that assumption if I was on Big. So that's probably why they called this upper rush, but Heroic dealt with that in such a good way.
Yeah, they looked really ready for it. But just to be certain. So outside smokes coming in from Big at the beginning of the rounds. It's tagged with that creek, that deep garage position. Really hard to deal with this position, especially when you're going for those upper wraps through outside. Deep AG takes Tizian down to 58.
Nice. Probably a reasonable HE to do once the door's been blown off and you put a smoke there. Because the T's may feel compelled to watch it. In case of a CT push, as rare as it may be these days.
That feels like such a strong Krieg angle.
I love the scopes on the Krieg as well when you're zoomed in. I have the racing car livery one. Oh man, you don't get much of a chance, do you?
Die so fast.
Once they start firing, you're pretty much dead, as Snappy can allow Xantares to attest to. 4 versus 2 now as Tabson gets deleted as well. Man, it's nasty. Double Krieg on the CT side, no less.
Might be a few more Kriegs to be collected here. They're like...
Next makes his way down the ramp. He has Tizian in tow as well. Next carrying the bomb. Looking for double figures for Big. 24 seconds though, not much time in a 2 versus 4. The Phantom on the scope. Next may be turned into a ghost if he makes his way forward. 10 seconds now, there he goes. Too many angles, and it is formality versus the scope with an angle.
It's a really nice round by Snappy, get that 4K. It looked like he was going to get pinched in ramp. He got that first frag, backed off, and did a really good job of picking his angles. At that point to get the last 3.
Kriegs are just so good, man. It's look, there's 2 Kriegs and an AK on the CT side. I remember it would be the case that you see like a few AKs on the CT side and it's like, whoa, that's like so sick. But the Krieg is like a real level up from that.
How the Org used to be, again, when you're holding a B-bomb site, how it would tear people to pieces. The Krieg seems to have taken that place. More of an opportunist rifle. It looks like they did, as S-Tag gets taken up by a flash from Nex and a kill from Tabson.
He went aggressive with the Krieg. He's too greedy with the Krieg, man. You gotta protect that gun. No, just kidding, of course. Taking up the angle towards T-Red. Not seeing anything outside yet, because Big have cut noise. The Krieg. Oh, just coming off the angle at the worst moments. To a flash for Borup. Just to line up for Cadian. And that's Borup going off of the shot of his teammate with the AWP. And that is perfect. Tabson will take him down. But it's a 3v3 and then there's less than a minute. And the bomb is outside. How does it make its way inside?
Trade frags around that spooky area. And there's a Krieg again, man. It is nasty. And then there was one, Cadian. But they're coming his way. Time to pull out the AWP, surely. Oh, he hasn't heard it. On the USP. Oh, he's just backed off at the right time. Going for the flick. Just missing the leg there. That wouldn't have been enough against Tizian on the ramp. So it will be double figures for Big after all. Very tense game of Nuke between these two sides. Again, Heroic already 1-0 up on the pick of Big. So they're 3 rounds away from a very surprising 2-0 scoreline, but Big are fighting back.
This is such a pivotal round right here. I feel like we get all the rounds of Big wins here. Heroic wins this. I don't know, I think Big's in a pretty rough spot if Heroic wins this round.
So we go for the classic, open the door with the AWP. Felt like Heroic were very eager to take aggressive peeks in that previous round and it didn't work out for them. Maybe we'll see, we're already seeing them just being a bit more passive across the board. And Big are waiting for pushes. So this is great for a certain amount of time, and then eventually if you're just waiting for pushes, it becomes to your detriment. You're not using that time to gain position instead. So they must be mindful of that. It's Heroic. They've completely switched up their CT setup here.
We don't see many wallbangs of Mini from the back, like with an AWP. It's very common that...
Oh yeah, didn't like Simple get a frag through that? Yeah.
Maybe like a scout or something.
There's 1, there's 2. Big turning things around now. This is going to be really hard for Heroic to recover from. Real hard. S-Tag on the ladder, throwing smokes. He's got the party tricks out. Now things turn around. They've got position now. Big in the lobby. That smoke has done wonders. Snappy now with an angle on the ramp, and everything could be changing. Spear with some really nice bunny hopping, but to no avail. What on earth has happened?
Snappy did exactly what he needed to do there, but there are still two choices. Tizian goes down or he goes up, and he's going to go up this time. And has he outpositioned the CTs? It looks like he may have done so. He's given himself enough space for a bomb plant, but he's not 100% sure what's going on. Quick molly to cover himself from the close position, and desperately prays no one comes up from the ladder just yet. As he makes his way off of the bomb plant towards the hut, trying to find himself the 1v1. He knows that Esatang is around the corner, but there's only so much he can do about that. Going for the wrap here. It's a smart play from Tizian to try to find the flank onto Esatang, who doesn't know specifically where Tizian is just yet, and it may be the masterstroke. If Tizian can get there in time, but the timing really is everything. And unfortunately for Tizian, it's not planted for him. They're just sticking it at this point. He's been spotted, and Borup will take him down. And you said it, Sean, it'd be rough if they lost this round, and that's the reality.
That's brutal. The timing on that door flank, he played it so well. I mean, EasyTech also played that really well, though, so I guess well played to both of them, but I mean, the key to this round right here was the smoke from EasyTech coming up the vents to block the door. It completely disjoints the hit through door and mini. You can see the too many people. That smoke happened during probably the comm from the in-game leader, so they couldn't even audible out of it. Those too many guys die, and then it's just a 3-on-3. Snappy rotating in a ramp. I mean, it was just so chaotic, but that smoke won the round.
It's crazy considering that it went 5 versus 3 pretty quickly. Just 2 instant kills outside. So, and then everyone's kind of positioned to go for a play on the upper bomb side, as you say. And it's usually very difficult when you're on the CT side to have a chance when you lose 2 players instantly, because it's just, you know, there's no time to rotate or get into position. So it's really surprising that Heroic held on. And Heroic have an auto shotgun here. Their money is not good.
Wow. 8.3 now for Big in the late game.
Whoa.
Could be turned around though.
Some chunks.
It was like 3-1 before the game started, right?
Yeah, it's got a hell of a lot worse.
Oof.
Next is the man of the AK, and he took most of the damage. Everyone has full armor though, so it doesn't really matter who's carrying the AK in that respect. And they wait.
Should he swap that? Shouldn't he swap the AK here?
From Act 10, probably. I think if you need to make an entry at this point, if you're wide swinging, take the Sanji roll, pick up the, maybe even the Deagle on Xantares, to be honest. Why has Xantares got a Deagle? Hold on a second. Xantares has a Deagle, and Nex has 43 HP with the AK. Someone has to make a call here. Xantares is just wide swinging with that Deagle, and he's dead.
That was very interesting. Person to be making that play, I guess.
Yeah.
All by himself.
Yeah, at this point it's looking a little bit hopeless. They had a plan. I think they just got to the point where like, well, this isn't going to work, and they're just trying to get peaks, and they will get shut down. 15-10. That's match point for Heroic.
It's really strange because everyone else can take double the jewels that Nex can take, because he can take 2 bullets, not to the head, with his HP, or other people can take 3+. Anyway.
It seemed like that was a round where, I don't know, like, the game leader lost control. Like, Tabson lost control, and just people started doing whatever they want. I don't know if there was, like, some infighting going on or something during that round.
I think that's where you're missing some Godby.
Yeah. Something weird happened that round within their team.
It seems pretty basic protocol. Taking a lot of damage. Everyone's got armor. Xantares is on your team. Give him the AK. But now it might be the end of the line here for Big. There's an AUG to be collected.
That hurts though. There's a lot of spots where like going for a 1v2 trade might not look the best sometimes on a CT side, because you go down to 4 players and it becomes harder to not have holes in your defense. But when those players don't have any utility to really work with, and they don't have the numbers to burst through choke points, it actually becomes so hard on the T side. Like, what do you do with 3 players here?
And a smoke and a flash on Nuke. You have no map control, you're all 3 lobby. This is such a hard round for Big to win.
Yeah, Heroic have dumped almost all their utility. However, they still have position on some horrible choke points, such as the nature of Nuke. The shotgun rattles off some warning shots. Nex loses the bomb. Got a few bullets left, and Tabson now with 1 HP in a 1 versus 2. Now it's a none versus 2. Heroic take the series 2-0 with a 16-10 on Nuke, their pick, after taking bigs in the first map.
Yeah, what a great performance from Heroic, and it all came down to that first half. There was some really sketchy, close moments where, I mean, Big, it started to look like they were going to really take control of things, but Heroic, man, they've got more layers than we could reasonably expect, given that they're effectively a new team.
Yeah, Big just didn't give themselves enough to work with in that second half. It looked like they could have rallied a comeback, but I mean, they just gave up way too much in that first half.
And here are the scores on the doors. Those brief replays brought to you by NVIDIA. We see the... Yeah, it's a team effort on this map. There's no particular outlier here. There's no one going crazy on the server, but the result is what they wanted. Heroic with a huge 2-0 over Big. I didn't know what to make of Big coming into this game. I needed to see more from them, and I certainly do after that performance. Not what we were expecting. Came into it as a favorite, but left with a lot of questions to be asked. Looked confident, sounded like it from the snippets we saw from Smear and so on.
Smear sounded real confident. So I think, I don't know if that was before those Furia losses on LAN this last week, or if I had to guess, yeah, it was probably like right before that. And that might have taken like a little bit of a blow to their confidence. And who knows, maybe they're playing like a little bit more passive now and things just aren't working out as well.
It's time for the HyperX X Factor play of the game. Show me the money.
Okay, so it is going to be that play from Stav, and he gets a 4K here. Smear with a few chances to take him down, fails. Would never in a million years would have imagined, I think, that it would come down to this after losing the duel against Staven. What an excellent effort. And of course, it was a close game on Dust too, so that was a highly impactful round to win. And again, I'm just so impressed that Heroic managed to actually win this series, and the way that they did it, I think, is what impresses me more, honestly. Is that they had a lot of layers to their team play and tactics.
That's the crazy part, is they had so many different tactics. Like, right? They didn't have their lineup that we're accustomed to. Blame F, their in-game leader, is now obviously going to Complexity. So we thought they would look really disjointed with KDN stepping in. That was not the case at all. They showed more shots than any of the teams we've seen so far today.
We can have a look at the bracket and see how things are shaping up at the moment, what's been going on elsewhere. Mix at 1-1 with Avangard. Mix took the first map in that series, actually. Don't know much about that team, but Avangard have got some writing of the ship to do for sure. This is a really important week for them if they want to make it to LAN at ECS. And in the meantime, we see Tricked, Virtus Pro, and Heroic have made it through to the next stage. So keep you guys updated with the result in that Mix Avangard game. It is being broadcasted by our community partners as well, so you can check that out on different channels. But for now, we will be heading to a break. We are going to be back in an hour for North America, 60 minutes away, so don't go too far. We will see you a little later on.